Imagine waking up tomorrow in a world where financial worries are just distant memories. A world where you finally enjoy true financial freedom, emotional fulfillment, and authentic happiness. Sound like an impossible dream? It's not. And this transformation can begin today. In this video, I'll reveal the 9 Stoic principles that have the power to break the cycle of poverty in your life once and for all. Principles that philosophers such as Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus used over 2,000 years ago to cultivate not only material wealth, but a mindset of abundance, serenity, and purpose. What you will discover are not just abstract theories, but practical and powerful tools that can completely revolutionize your relationship with money and transform your financial reality. Each principle I share is like a key that unlocks a door to a more prosperous and meaningful life. Why should you watch to the end? Because the last principle is possibly the most transformative of all. The one that many financial experts never mention, but which the Stoics considered fundamental to achieving true prosperity. If you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck, accumulating debt, or feeling like you never have enough, this video was made especially for you. The Stoic wisdom I'm about to share has the power to change not just your finances, but your life as a whole. So if you're ready to end the cycle of poverty once and for all, keep watching. And if this content is resonating with you, don't forget to leave your like and subscribe to the channel for more Stoic wisdom applied to modern life. Also, activate the little bell to be notified when we release new videos that can transform your financial reality. Let's start our journey towards financial freedom and a truly prosperous life with the first Stoic principle. Live within your means. Live within your financial means. This first lesson may seem elementary, but it is often overlooked. Every day we are bombarded with seductive advertising that pushes us to consume products such as the latest generation of smartphones or fashionable clothing. The lure of spending on superfluous items is powerful, and without realizing it, we can find ourselves existing only to pay off debts, accumulating more and more financial commitments. This vicious circle of consumerism is a devastating trap. Self-control, a central element of Stoicism, is absolutely vital. This philosophy instructs us not to be slaves to our desires or allow material possessions to determine our happiness. Instead, we should find contentment in what we already have and fight the constant urge to always want more. This doesn't mean never rewarding ourselves, but these pleasures must be calculated, taking into account our real financial condition. In practice, start by distinguishing needs from wants. Needs are fundamental: food, housing, and basic clothing. Wants are items that we would like to have, but are not indispensable: advanced technology, designer clothes, or luxury cars. By understanding this difference, we can make wiser consumer decisions. Remember the fable of the hare and the tortoise. In the race of life, we don't want to be the hare that exhausts its resources quickly and recklessly, but the tortoise that advances steadily and thoughtfully without exhausting itself. Frugality and conscious spending don't mean depriving yourself of the good things life has to offer. It's about making intelligent choices to live comfortably, without the constant pressure of financial instability. Building solid foundations for the future. Visualize having enough reserves to face emergencies without despair, being debt-free, and enjoying the financial freedom to spend more time with loved ones, take up new hobbies, or even start your own business. Imagine sitting back peacefully without the terror of depleting your savings. All of this is achievable by living within your financial means. Implementing this principle requires discipline and can be challenging, especially if you are used to impulsive spending. But the peace that accompanies financial stability is worth every effort. Take the first step towards financial empowerment now. Examine your spending habits, differentiate needs from wants, and commit to not exceeding your means. Remember, it's not about sacrifice, but more astute choices that lead to a life of financial freedom and tranquility. Choices that allow you to live intensely, not just exist. Know your financial reality in depth. The second principle is absolutely crucial. After addressing the importance of living within our means, we come to the second equally fundamental pillar: knowing your financial situation in depth. The idea that what the eye can't see, the heart can't feel, is completely disastrous when applied to finances. Ignoring them can drag us into an abyss of economic difficulties. An essential element of Stoicism is the practice of wisdom, which requires a deep understanding of our situation. In financial terms, this means being fully aware of our finances. Many people, however, fall into the trap of ignoring their financial reality, perhaps out of fear, shame, or simple carelessness. However, it is essential to recognize our financial situation, regardless of how unfavorable it may seem, because this is the starting point for any improvement. Think of your finances as a garden. If neglected, weeds and pests proliferate, destroying what was once a vibrant and organized space. This analogy applies perfectly to financial management. Constant and thorough vigilance allows you to quickly identify financial problems, solve them, and make the necessary adjustments to ensure that your financial garden flourishes and maintains its vitality. Furthermore, a fundamental aspect of Stoicism is that it is based on reality. Stoics advocate seeing things as they really are, without illusions or false conceptions. This principle should guide your financial approach. Evaluate your income, debts, expenses, savings, and investments. Understand where your money comes from and where it goes. Acknowledging financial reality can be uncomfortable, but it is an indispensable step towards building a solid foundation of financial stability and growth. Ignoring finances often results in bad financial management habits. Without a clear understanding of your financial situation, it's easy to overspend, fail to save, and make rash investment decisions. On the other hand, being aware of your finances allows you to make decisions in line with your financial goals. Adopting a Stoic mentality towards your finances also means taking responsibility for them. It means understanding that your financial health is the result of your habits, choices, decisions, and actions. Blaming external factors for your financial challenges doesn't solve the situation. On the contrary, it only perpetuates a cycle of financial difficulties. Remember, control of your finances is in your hands. Let Stoic philosophy guide you in your quest for financial knowledge and independence. Pay attention to your money, take responsibility for it, and use it as a tool to build the life you want. So stop ignoring your finances and start treating them with the attention and respect they deserve. Disassociate happiness from material wealth. We move on to the third principle, one of the most valuable lessons so far. Don't link happiness to material wealth. This is a crucial milestone in our journey towards a more fulfilling life. In our society, we are constantly programmed to believe that happiness is directly linked to the possession of material goods, suggesting that the more we accumulate, the happier we will be. However, the truth is radically different. Stoicism, with its logical approach, perspective, and virtue, offers a completely different view on this issue. This philosophy teaches that true happiness lies in virtue. You may wonder, how does virtue relate to wealth or happiness? The connection is profound. For the Stoics, virtue is the supreme good. In other words, a virtuous life based on wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline represents the highest form of happiness. Virtue is under our control, unaffected by external factors or instabilities. Therefore, what really matters is not what we possess, but who we are and how we lead our lives. There are countless cases of unhappy millionaires and ordinary people who find joy in simplicity. The balance in your bank account does not determine your happiness. What really counts is the quality of your character and your actions. Furthermore, material goods are transitory, and the happiness they provide is fleeting. The incessant pursuit of more possessions is like running on a treadmill. There is movement, but no real progress. On the other hand, when we seek wealth in wisdom, experiences, and relationships, we find lasting happiness. Knowledge gained, experiences lived, and love shared are treasures that remain, enriching life in ways that material things never can. Stoicism also encourages us to value what we have. Gratitude is seen as a form of wealth. By cultivating gratitude for what we have, we realize that we have enough, and this realization brings peace and contentment. In short, reconsidering our perception of wealth and happiness is fundamental. It's a journey in search of internal rather than external validation. It involves understanding that the true measure of wealth is not in possessions, but in being. Breaking away from the idea that wealth equals happiness can be challenging, but it is essential to achieving true satisfaction. As the Stoic philosopher, Cicero taught, "It is not he who has little, but he who desires more who is poor," leading us to our next lesson. Embrace and seize. Face and take advantage of risky opportunities. We have reached the fourth lesson, the importance of understanding and embracing risky opportunities. The word risk often arouses anxiety or caution, emotions that can prevent us from reaching our full potential. Stoicism teaches us that courage is key. Fear of failure or facing obstacles should not prevent us from taking calculated risks. You may be wondering, what kind of risk? Reflect briefly. What really differentiates the successful from the rest? The distinction lies in their courage to take risks. These people venture beyond their comfort zones, embracing uncertainty and confronting difficulties directly. They recognize that it is through these risks that they grow, learn, and ultimately achieve success. For you, this means re-evaluating your view of risk. Instead of seeing it as a potential threat, see it as an opportunity for growth. Adopt a mindset that sees challenges as stepping stones to success. Consider the example of an explorer preparing for an expedition. He faces risks as he ventures into unknown territories, facing adverse conditions and unpredictable challenges. However, it is by accepting these risks that he has the chance to discover new horizons, learn from unique experiences, and perhaps find unexpected treasures. Similarly, on the financial side, taking risks can involve investing in an innovative project, exploring a new career, or choosing to save and invest resources rather than spending them immediately on instant gratification. Of course, there is the possibility that things won't go according to plan, but there is also the chance of extraordinarily positive results. However, talking about taking risks doesn't mean acting recklessly. Stoicism advocates calculated and prudent risks based on knowledge, discernment, and a clear understanding of your specific situation, connecting to the previous principles of self-knowledge and continuous education. Life is a succession of risks. Every choice we make includes some degree of risk, but it is by facing and not avoiding these risks that we open doors to countless possibilities. We grow, develop, and get closer to our goals of financial independence, personal improvement, and overall satisfaction through these risks. Let's continue with determination on this journey, embracing the risks and allowing them to transform us into more developed, wise, and successful versions of ourselves. Every risk faced is a step towards your goals. Every obstacle overcome is a cornerstone in building your financial prosperity. And speaking of taking positive initiatives, here's one more you can adopt now. Join us on this journey of evolution and prosperity, building on the foundation of the fourth principle. Invest in your personal growth continuously. Personal development is not just a privilege, it's an absolute necessity. Having the courage to leave your comfort zone and embark on the journey of lifelong learning is essential. If we stop learning, we risk obsolescence. Just as a shark needs to move in order to survive, we must remain active in learning in order to remain relevant and competitive. Investing in yourself is another crucial aspect of personal development. This can involve seeking further education, attending workshops, seeking mentoring, or setting aside time for reading and expanding your knowledge. This investment can significantly impact your career, relationships, and quality of life. Stoic self-control is also fundamental. It's about making the right choices rather than the easy ones, prioritizing personal growth over leisure or superfluous expenses. It's not a question of sacrifice, but of making deliberate decisions that are aligned with your long-term goals. Personal development is a continuous path, not an end. It is an effort to move forward, not to achieve perfection. By adopting the Stoic principle of continuous learning and growth, you direct your energy towards becoming the best version of yourself every day. Every day is a chance to learn something new, improve a skill, or gain a new perspective. This personal growth has a direct impact on your financial development, so don't underestimate your personal development. Invest in yourself and watch your life change for the better. Take responsibility and avoid blaming others. In the path of Stoic teachings, we find the vital principle of avoiding blaming others. This principle, one of the foundations of Stoic philosophy, highlights the importance of personal responsibility and autonomy. In order to advance in our financial health and quality of life, it is crucial that we admit our participation in the situations we experience, rather than simply blaming others. Why is this so important? We live in a society that often prefers to blame others for its dilemmas. In doing so, we abdicate our control and influence over our own lives, becoming passive spectators rather than active players in our own story. The idea that others are to blame may seem comforting at first, but herein lies the crux of the problem. By blaming others for our financial challenges or failures, we surrender our power to bring about change, learn, and evolve. Stoicism proposes the opposite approach, encouraging us to take responsibility for our decisions, actions, and consequently, the course of our lives. Understanding that we have the power to shape our financial reality is crucial. Adopting this perspective transforms us from mere observers into active architects of our destiny, putting us in charge and directing our lives where we truly want them to be. Taking personal responsibility doesn't mean wallowing in guilt and self-accusation. On the contrary, it means giving yourself the chance to learn from your mistakes and make better decisions in the future. It means accepting that our financial situation directly reflects our choices and actions. Yes, external factors have an influence, but our reaction to these factors is even more decisive. Take, for example, the accumulation of considerable credit, card debt. It would be easy to blame high interest rates or social pressure to consume, but in reality, it was our decision to use the card. Recognizing this doesn't mean wallowing in guilt, but learning and making better choices in the future. That's the power of personal responsibility. It enables us to adapt, innovate, and overcome any challenge. This principle also relates to the dichotomy of Stoic control, understanding what is and isn't within our reach. We can't control the economy, the job market, or inflation, but we can definitely manage our spending habits, our attitude towards money, and our commitment to financial learning and personal growth. Giving up the habit of blaming others is not just a principle. It's the best decision you'll ever make. It's about taking the lead, learning from mistakes, and continually striving to improve. Understand that the key to financial freedom and a fulfilling life lies in ourselves. Refuse to live up to other people's expectations. The seventh lesson highlights the importance of living in line with your own values rather than following social standards or external expectations. In today's digital age, the pressure to meet the expectations of others is intense. We are often led to adopt inauthentic lifestyles just to gain approval or acceptance. This also affects our relationship with money. We often strive to match the lifestyle of rich and famous people, seeking their possessions, social status, and luxury, often compromising our financial health. The Stoic principle of autonomy encourages us to resist this temptation and live according to our own values, focusing on our personal journey towards financial independence. To apply this principle, it is essential to know yourself, your values, and your financial aspirations. Developing a realistic and personalized financial plan in line with these goals is crucial. In addition, it is essential to be resilient, as there will always be pressures to conform and live to please others. By freeing yourself from other people's expectations, you take control of your finances and your life, living authentically, with less stress and greater happiness. Don't let social pressures shape your financial decisions. Live according to your own values and let them guide your path to financial independence. Remember, the real competition is with yourself. Accept and adjust to change. In our last and possibly most impactful lesson in the quest for financial freedom and personal satisfaction, we focus on one vital element: accepting and adjusting to change. Change is constant, but we often face it with resistance. We tend to cling to what is familiar, to the known, to our comfort zones. However, Stoicism teaches us to welcome and adapt to change, understanding the ephemeral nature of life and adjusting appropriately, because it is in the ability to adapt that we find true prosperity. The seasons alternate, the tides ebb and flow, the sun rises and sets. All are examples of the constant variation inherent in life. Just as a river is always moving, life is also in constant transformation. We need to learn to evolve with it, flowing with the current and not against it. In the financial sphere, this principle indicates that the economic landscape is always changing. Sectors emerge while others decline, interest rates fluctuate, and the labor market changes. The only constant is uncertainty. The real challenge is not to resist change, but to learn to adapt to it. To overcome resistance to change, we first need to change our mindset. It is crucial to recognize that, although challenging, change can open doors to new opportunities and greater prosperity. A caterpillar transforms into a butterfly through change, and it is this transformation that gives it wings. It's also important to stay informed. Knowledge reduces fear, which is often the basis of resistance to change. Keep up to date with economic trends, investment opportunities, and effective financial practices. Knowledge is the compass that will help you navigate the ocean of change. Also, keep a balanced view. Understand that change can bring both gains and losses. Just as a coin has two sides, so does change. The loss of a job can lead to a more rewarding career, an unsuccessful venture can offer valuable lessons, and a financial setback can develop resilience and creativity. Be flexible. Rigidity in the face of change is like an inflexible tree in a storm, prone to breaking. A tree that adapts to the wind survives the storm. In the same way, flexibility in your financial plans, career choices, and investment strategies can help you weather economic turbulence. Remember, the world is a stage of constant change, and you are the protagonist. With the right mindset, knowledge, perspective, and flexibility, you can draw a picture of financial prosperity and personal fulfillment. Embracing change isn't just about financial success. It's about living a life full of growth, learning, and evolution. It's about breaking new ground in life and discovering your true potential. So embrace change, because it is the path to true freedom and fulfillment. Practice gratitude. Every day. Gratitude is one of the fundamental pillars of Stoic philosophy and a powerful tool for transforming your financial mindset. When we practice gratitude on a daily basis, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we already have, creating a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. The Stoics believed that true wealth lies not in having great possessions, but in having few desires. By cultivating gratitude for what you already have, you naturally reduce the need to seek satisfaction in unnecessary material acquisitions. This simple but profound practice can revolutionize your relationship with money. Start each day by recognizing 3 things you are grateful for. These can be relationships, experiences, opportunities, or even challenges that have promoted your growth. By doing this consistently, you train your mind to identify the positive in your life rather than focusing on what's missing. Gratitude also serves as an antidote to social comparison, one of the biggest drivers of unwise financial decisions. When you are genuinely grateful for what you have, the need to compete with others or impress them with material possessions decreases significantly. What's more, practicing gratitude connects us with the present moment, allowing us to enjoy what we have now rather than postponing happiness to some future point when we have more. This change in perspective is transformative, as it frees us from the never-enough mentality that feeds the cycle of poverty. Remember the words of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus: "He who is not satisfied with what he has will not be satisfied with what he would like to have." Gratitude is not just a virtue to be cultivated, but a practical strategy for achieving true abundance in all aspects of life. We have reached the end of our journey through the Stoic principles that can radically transform your financial life. These age-old teachings remain relevant because they address fundamental truths about human nature and our relationship with the material world. The 9 principles we explore form a complete system for breaking the cycle of poverty once and for all. We start by learning to live within our financial means, getting to know our economic reality in depth, and disassociating happiness from material wealth. We move on to face and take advantage of risky opportunities, invest continuously in our personal growth, and take responsibility for our financial situation instead of blaming others. We also learn to refuse to live up to other people's expectations, to accept and adjust to life's inevitable changes, and finally, to practice gratitude on a daily basis as a way of cultivating mental abundance. These principles are not just abstract theories, but practical tools that, when applied consistently, have the power to transform not just your finances, but your life as a whole. Stoic wisdom teaches us that true wealth lies not just in our bank balance, but in the quality of our character and the serenity of our spirit. By incorporating these principles into your daily life, you will not only be building a more solid financial future, but also developing the resilience and wisdom needed to face any challenge life throws your way. Remember, the power to transform your financial reality is in your hands. It's not external circumstances, but your daily choices that determine your financial destiny. As Marco Aurelio taught us, the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Now is the time to act. Start applying these Stoic principles to your life today. Take the first step towards the financial freedom and peace of mind you deserve. The path may be challenging, but the reward, a life of abundance, purpose, and peace of mind, is worth every effort. End the cycle of poverty in your life once and for all, and open the door to a future of prosperity and fulfillment. Stoic wisdom is at your fingertips. Use it to transform your financial reality and live the fulfilling life you were meant to live.